So,
Still installing the starter system. I've cleaned up the mounting holes, but I still need to refurbish some old cables so I don't have to buy new ones. Right now I am modifying the old starter solenoid so that it mounts in a way that I like.
that is just barely not big enough.
I don't really like how loosely that cable fits on the solenoid, but I don't really want to put a new end on it, and we're technically still mocking this up, so let's let it ride.
I need a place to mount this. And that's still not big enough, or too big, excuse me. Find another cable. Alright, where am I with this? So, about the new starter switch for it, which is activated by the foot switch, which is there. And then I discovered that the foot switch doesn't depress the lever inside the transmission far enough to actually engage the starter switch. So the starter switch works, but it doesn't work with the foot switch. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with that. It's some internal wear piece. If it's the rod inside the transmission, well, that's got to wait, because I'm not pulling this apart to do that. I was going to pull the foot switch here, which I don't think is tightened down. It is. And just see if I can see the wear on the end of it. And if I can, then either braze some material on the end of it or replace. I pulled a washer out to try to reduce the clearance to it. Yeah, see, it doesn't look like that's worn at all. It just doesn't go far enough. And you can feel it. I don't think this comes apart in the least. Let me try that. Because I'd rather not braze something on the end there that goes down inside the transmission on the off chance that the braze fails and it proceeds to fall out and grind up in the gears. I'm seeing if this button comes loose. I don't know how the rod and the button are connected. They obviously are, but I'd rather add material to this end add material to the bad end. When you push it down, it just all travels out. There doesn't appear to be a snap ring in there, so I don't know. When it's in place, you can feel it. It's got about that much travel before it engages the lever. So then the lever only travels that far. So if I could increase that somehow, either increase the live travel, or that's what has to happen. But it doesn't feel like this wants to come loose, at least not with hand pressure. I don't want to stick that in a vise. See if I have another pair of channel locks, maybe that'll do this properly. I have a 12 volt. I have solenoid. The thing came to me with a solenoid installed, which I assumed was because the switch, that it was activated by the foot switch, had gone bad because it was missing. There wasn't one. So I purchased one, replaced it, and ran into this issue. But maybe this was the original issue. I'm done questioning, okay, then why did you remove the switch and not replace it? Because there are lots of things on this tractor that are missing. Not quite enough. Sorry, this is not scripted. I'm working as I speak, speaking as I work. Install the electrical solenoid and just run with that. That's the answer. I just don't like it. Because there's a safety mechanism. Well, okay, so let's talk about my stupid obsession with putting things in the way they're supposed to be. There's a safety mechanism that if the tractor is in gear, that's the washer I took out before. If the tractor's in gear, there should be a sleeve in there that prevents this from traveling down far enough to engage starter. It's only when it's in neutral it should start. Great in theory. So that's the reason to have this. Is as long as you're in neutral, you can depress the switch. But if you're in gear, you can't. That's the design. Here's the issue. Second gear, you can still depress the switch. First gear, you can still depress it. Third gear, you can still depress the switch to the same distance. So either the safety is on all the time right now, or it doesn't work. Because if the safety were on all the time, that's the answer. That's why this isn't working, because the basket is constantly blocking that from depressing the solenoid. But it does move. It feels like it should be working. Anyway, my reference earlier to my stupid obsession with putting things right is it's part of the safety mechanism, except it doesn't work. But I want to put it back with the foot switch because that's the way it's supposed to be, even though the safety mechanism doesn't work. So, I guess we're back to doing this the wrong way. I have the push button for the start that I pulled out of here isn't recoverable, and I don't think it actually works anymore. I was able to bump the motor over by just jumping it, using the cable to connect the two things, the battery to the starter, it works. So if I put the solenoid in there right now, I still won't be able to use the push button to start the tractor because I don't have the push button. So I'm going to do some research tonight to see what the parts diagram is for this mechanism that both activates the solenoid and locks out when it's in gear, to see if maybe it's just always engaged in the safety mode, but I doubt that. The button was supposed to be here today. I just got an email saying it's delayed until tomorrow or even the 3rd, so I guess that's not happening. So none of this is really going to happen yet, but I can assemble it. Oh, and I'm ignoring the fact that my cables aren't done, so it's not going to work anyways. I've gotten half the wiring done back up. Yeah, so we're just going to continue. We're going to reinstall the solenoid. I have this nifty ground strap for the battery, which I prefer to use. Yeah, anyway. So, enough talk. Start doing something, because I feel better when I'm actually doing something. I should get the new Purdy battery cables for this too, but we're not there yet. This thing hasn't made me happy enough to start doing that kind of mods to it. Alright, so this is the positive cable. You can tell that because it's black. Anyway, I actually have red shrink tape in shrink wrap in the garage. Just have to go get it, which I'm not doing. Finger tight, because that's the spec, right? See, I have this nice red battery cable, which makes better sense. Healthier lug. Yeah, why am I not using this? Oh, probably because the bolt looks like it's had, yeah, the bolt's frozen on it. That's why I'm not using that one. Oh well. Crappy one or crappier one. So let's test this out right now. I'm going to put this in place. Seems like that should be a fiber, non-conductive. Yeah, I think there's a non-conductive material right there. It doesn't feel non-conductive though. It feels metalish, metallic, right? You know what I meant. Alright, so no sparky. Look how crappy this thing is. This one I will put red shrink wrap on if this works. Because I'm tired of, wow, look at all that just come right off. There. I am tired of sinking a bunch of work into stuff that then turns out to not be anything. So what happened here was I lost the bolt. I brought a 5/16 out and tried it, and it seemed to be the right size, but it just wouldn't thread on. So then I cut the threads the first time but I cut them with the wrong die. So then I had to come back and cut them with a 5/16 18, and now they work properly. So round and round she goes. This is going to be the end of the test. Yeah, tighten that up. Looks like a 1/2 inch. 9/16. Awesome, I ended up with like 3 9/16 out of 1/2 inch. That's 9/16. Secret sauce to making everything work. Working with Ed's old stuff. Ooh. Nope. I need to put a freeze to that. My little tiny vice grips. I'm like working on the wrong problem. No, that would have been a pretty good YouTube channel name too. The wrong problem. We are in fact a step closer to doing what we're supposed to be doing on here, anyways. We're moments away from finding out why this won't work. So I got these damn guinea fowl whose job it is to eat ticks, and they're all over there yucking it up with the chickens, and I gotta pick ticks off my leg every 5 minutes. Alright, so there's that. Next, this. Yikes, that's scary. But it's not grounded, so it's alright. There we go. In theory, yikes, wow. Yeah, don't lick that. In theory, I can get over my taking out the wrong cable. Not in theory yet. We're not quite there yet. Yep, that needs to be tightened up too. Here, remember this I couldn't find? Let's make it so I can find it. There we go. Sorry. There we go. All right. Oh. So let's find out how wrong I am here. Positive. Okay. First thing, good. We disabled the safety, so we are in neutral. I hope so. Well, it's not going to go anywhere anyways. Yeah, that's neutral. That's neutral. All right. Ready? Find out how wrong I was. wrong yet. I haven't failed yet. He says yet. Alright. So let's tighten these connections up. That needs a little bit of lube too. Look at me with a pocket full of wrenches. Wrong wrenches. Post. Alright. So, in theory, if I run a charge from the positive post to the terminal down here, that should engage the solenoid and it should spin the motor. But it should click, because that's all I'm going to let it do. Let's see. Got nasty, disgusting bare end and nasty, disgusting bare end. There we go. Look like we're in business. This conveniently even gives us a place to connect it. Alright, so watch that wheel. If it comes at me, we're stopping. Well, something went bang. Did it let the magic smoke out? We may have just let the magic smoke out of something. Oh, that's what went bang. Awesome. Arced from there to there. That was the bang. Okay, try it again. Woohoo! Nobody's bleeding. Alright, so it works. For now. Next step, I'm going to need to hook up the charging circuit at some point. But I need to verify where that is, where that point is. I think I need to jump, this is the back of the ammeter, which, by the way, I installed also. So I think this is just a ground. That's the key switch. No! No, it is not. This needs to go to 12 volt hot, coming to the key, so that when we engage the key, then it runs to this line, which will go to here, not the yellow, and power the ammeter, and then we run from the ammeter down to the resistor, baluster, whatever, resistor, and that runs out to the coil. So where does this comes back from the ammeter, from the alternator, excuse me. Man, you know, I've only done this 1,000 times. Not this, but, you know, in general. And I still need to fix this before I get too far ahead of myself. And I still need to make the spark plug lines. Alright, let me go collect the material to make the spark plug wires. And I'm going to put you on hold during that.